From the Washington Post, letter to the editor. I grew up inside this restaurant, and now my wife's helping out in the dining room. My daughter's working at the hostess stand. It's a family place, 4 generations and counting. I know every inch of pipe and wire that is running through this building. I've been the plumber, the busboy, the handyman, the butcher, the bartender, the prep cook, the manager. I've done every job there is in this restaurant. And now I'm the one who has to shut us down. It kills me. My wife and I were supposed to be getting ready to celebrate our 60th anniversary, the 60th anniversary of our restaurant this year. But instead, we're packing up and closing at the end of this month. I'll find another job, but it's more than that. This is my home. These walls are like a family photo album. I try not to get too sentimental about it because it won't change a damn thing. But sometimes the stress hits me and my heart starts going like crazy. I get frustrated. It makes me angry. How does this whole situation make any sense? I don't know a single person that has gotten COVID. And I know that makes me lucky. But right now I can tell you about at least a dozen businesses going under and a few hundred people completely going broke. I know this virus is real, okay? It's real and it's awful. I'm not disputing any of that. But our national hysteria is worse. We've allowed this virus to take over our economy, our small businesses, our school, our social lives, our whole quality of life. We surrendered and now everything is infected. I like to believe this restaurant is resilient. I tried to outlast it. My father worked here 5 days a week until he died at 82. Because that's in our DNA. When the governor first shut us down in March, I got together with my brother and my cousin, and we agreed to think of this as an opportunity. The restaurant was doing pretty good at that point. We had a little money to spend. We said, let's reinvest back into the business like it's supposed to be done. We took our time and remodeled the entire bar. We put in new bathrooms, new draft lines. We gave a tour to a few of our loyal customers that said, wow, when this place opens up, you're going to fill it every day. You'll be bigger than ever. At first, the state was only allowing us to do carry-out. Okay, we have 5 dining rooms, 85 employees, and 13,000 square feet of space. And now you want us to operate like a burger shack? How many people do you know who are willing to spend $40 on a lukewarm steak that's traveled halfway across town? That's not our business. We're old school. We don't have frozen hot wings that we heat up and toss in a cardboard box in 5 minutes. We buy the chicken fresh. We cut off the fat ourselves. We pound it out. We bread it. Your wings will take 25 minutes while you're enjoying a conversation and a cocktail or two. But that's the old world, right? What choice did we have? We redid our carry-out menu and cut the prices down and teamed up with DoorDash and Grubhub. We created theme menus for Mother's Day and Easter. We delivered charity meals out to the hospitals, opened up a crab trailer out front so we could sell by the bushel. We were spending $800 a week on carry-out containers, and there is no profit in it. You lose out on booze. You don't get the same tips. We kept hanging on through March, then April, then May. But our revenue is down more than 80%. We had to lay off 75 people. That's 75 people dealing with unemployment and financial hardships, and not because a virus made any of them sick. When the state opened up for outdoor dining, I ran out to every Costco in the area, bought any picnic table I could find. We got 20 for $150 a piece. We roped off the parking lot and put out buckets of cold beer. We tried to make it look nice. But it's summer in Baltimore. It's 90-some degrees outside, and you're selling cream of crab soup to people who are sweating on the asphalt? Nobody came. Why would they come? We stood out there for 9 hours each and every day, and we waited. We got more creative. We kept on trying. We opened up at a 50% capacity, had live music, themed dinners, mystery nights, a meal with a psychic. We reinvented this restaurant a dozen times, and none of it worked. And what support did we get? More rules, more restrictions, more regulations, more mandates and curfews. We had to close at 10 p.m. because I guess maybe COVID comes out at 10:01. Except apparently they didn't have to do that at the casino down the road because they have political leverage. They get to stay open as long as they want. You can sit at our bar and have a drink, but you can't get up and mingle because that's considered a health violation. So now I'm trying to serve you and police you at the same time. Hey, thanks for coming. We really need your business. Now put on your mask or sit the hell back down. I have to buy disinfectants, individual ketchup, paper menus, personal salt and pepper shakers, or anything else that I might get fined if I don't have. My employees have to wear their masks all the time, even when they're alone in an office. But meanwhile, we have a group of 40 people in the dining room with no masks on, and that's deemed safe because they're drinking water? None of this makes sense. We had a customer come in the other day. She said she couldn't get seated. She couldn't get seated because we had a few other tables and we'd hit our 50% capacity in the one dining room she likes. I had to ask her to wait. I'd rather sit her down and take her money. I hate this rule, but I now have to enforce it. But she could see all the empty tables. She didn't understand. She got mad and decided to call 911 and tell them we were over capacity. 2 armed police officers came through here. The whole foyer was empty. Nobody was at the bar. I have a max fire rating on the wall for 323 people, and they couldn't count up to 100. I told them I dream about being over capacity, but I doubt that will ever happen again. It's like Trump said, the cure is worse than the disease. People spend too much time at home watching all the news all day long, drinking in this hysteria until they were spraying down their groceries and afraid to leave home. It became another anti-Trump thing in the press. The impeachment didn't work. The killer bees didn't work. So let's blow COVID out of proportion and see if it hurts him. But it's the rest of us that got hurt. It was the day after day of failure. It's a slow and painful death. We went to see our accountant at the end of summer. He looked over at the numbers. He didn't say much. That's not like him. I said to him, "What would you do?" He said, "The way things are going, you'll have nothing left to lose in just a couple of months." We made our decision right then and there. It wasn't really much to discuss. Our last day is September 30th, and then we're done. This is happening all over America. People had good jobs. They had businesses. They built them. And the reason why the left insisted that Donald Trump do what he didn't do, thank God, and have a national mandate is because they would have blamed all of this on him. They would have said it was the president's national mandate. Instead, he says, I'm going to leave it up to the locals, the states, the cities. And how many cities are going through this? And how many citizens in those cities, both independent, Democrat, even Republican, are looking at it now going, what the hell is going on? Why are we doing this? My kids are going to a school right now, supposed to be one of the best schools around. Really? Because it doesn't seem like they are smart enough to figure this one out. The teachers are wearing masks. The children are wearing masks the entire school day. They're also sitting behind little glass partitions. Each of them have a glass partition. The teacher is standing behind a glass partition. So you've got a mask, a glass partition, and another mask. My son sits in the back, says, I don't understand a thing that's going on. I can't hear anybody. They have to wear their masks outside. This is insanity. Truly insanity. And I hope the American people see it as such. I hope the American people are figuring this out. I think they are. This nomination of Amy Coney Barrett, if this is a trial and an impeachment of her character and an impeachment of her religion, the Democrats are going to pay a very big price for it. I don't think there's anyone in America that is still a decent American. Remember, I don't think so highly of Americans. Americans are really good. They want to be good. But when they have people leading them into madness, they will follow. I know it firsthand. I've seen it firsthand. My family has been attacked publicly, in crowds, spat upon. People chanted, "Get out, we don't want you here." My family and I, we saw this behavior, and we thought there's no one that we know of, no public figure, no personal figure, that we would ever treat like that. No one, because it violates every bit of common decency. It's one thing to say, well, I've said that on Twitter, because Twitter goes to the worst parts of us. We suddenly become brave because we're on Twitter. We can join a mob on Twitter, but most people, I don't think, want to join a mob. But that's what's happening. There's a mob, and there's a mob that has been organized in Washington, D.C. It has been organized by groups in secret combinations, political groups, people that are just after power and money, and they don't care how they get it. And they have flushed our way of life down the toilet. For what? A presidential campaign? Partly. But for a whole new system. See, if you kill the entrepreneur in America, you kill America. Because you're killing the individual. The individual just has to go to work at some chain restaurant. They can no longer express themselves in their own restaurant. They lose the desire to say, I'll take that risk, because anything can cut that risk, destroy that. Anything can change the variables, and they have no recourse. This is the biggest theft of not only money, but of heritage and of hope. Where's your hope? When the government can come in and you have a successful business and tell you what to do, when the numbers don't bear it out, when they came in on a false premise 15 days to flatten the curve, and you're still doing it, where do you go? See, this is the conservative argument against big government. Because there's no place to go. When the government makes the decision, they're the police and the criminal. The United States government and many of our states are responsible for this, not you. And hopefully someday soon we'll return to some semblance of sanity. And those responsible for this theft, this rape of the Western world, will be held responsible.